Alrighty, I do believe we are live now. So anyone in the chat, hello. I hope you hear me. I hope you hear some of the folks on Discord. Hi, folks on Discord.
Hello,
Hey, everybody.
Discord.
Well, the audio mixer line moved when y'all did that, so I'm going to count that as a success.
I'm audible.
You are a company? I hate that the company...
No, this stream is not sponsored by Audible.
No, it most certainly is not. There are no sponsors here at all.
Not even Skillshare?
Look. Oh, hello, a free-range pigeon. That is a good name.
It's brilliant.org. Let's go there.
And also, hello, Zoran. Today in the chat, we also have with us Headfox and Cyrus, Skippy, and our guest today, Cosmik.
Cosmik!
Hey, everyone!
Hey!
I've
Yeah,
realized my screen was sitting static on I was fragged, and I'm like, why advertise that? Let's move around. There we go. Shoot green goo, get some frags. Oh, there's B Nuki! Hooray! Hi, B.
Hi, B.
What's up, B?
So I'm going to move us over to the live chat. For anyone watching, if you do want to play this game, you can go to draggor.me/doom, and there are instructions and links to files to get you set up. They are Windows-centric. There is a way to figure it out and do it for macOS. I have punted for months now on actually properly writing that up. I was supposed to have that for you, Cosmik. I had to bust out ye old MacBook. I have a 2012, 2013 MacBook Air that I tested Xandronum on. It is very, very slow. But once it fires up,
Draggor, your voice is lagging.
What? No.
Hello? You sound better now.
So, I guess disclaimer. I have been having weird on and off internet issues for at least a week. So, I take it y'all heard me drop off?
You sound okay now.
Was it like doing the robot thing?
You were just sort of getting choppy there.
Huh. Well, chat, if I sound okay and if the screen movement is okay, then I will take this opportunity to move myself and Cosmik over. And we're going to get... And Skippy. You want to join, Skippy?
Oh, I'd love to.
Let's do it.
Get to annoy Cosmik.
I get to ask.
Absolutely.
Well, all right. I'm going to move over and then ask how you know each other. So hang tight. Okay.
Hi. Yes, this is a good map.
Hello, Cosmik.
Hello, Draggor.
Hello, Skippy.
Hi.
This map is the Aeon Quake version of the QCDE one.
Yes. Yeah, it's beautiful. I
But-
love the retexturing job.
So I guess because I feel like reminiscing, I'm trying to figure out, Cosmik, do you recall the first time we actually shared a stage? Was that the one of the Anthrocon Tonight?
It was probably Anthrocon Tonight 2017.
That sounds about right, because we did the one the year before where Alkali and I suddenly got dropped in.
Or maybe that was... 2016 was a really weird year. But maybe that was when we started. I don't know.
Regardless, sometime
it
in the
all
before
fades
time,
into
pre-pandemic.
The before times.
By
That's what I'm just gonna-
2019, we had it pretty much down to a science.
Oh my goodness. That went so well. That was such a great team. Because we had you and Rhubarb filling out doing house band stuff, whereas previously, like when Alkali and I first came in, the only option was if people weren't playing their own instruments alongside their performance, it was a pre-recorded track. And there's nothing wrong with that, but as far as a show, if someone can do their vocal cover to an in-house live band, that is way more cool.
Well, that's what I thought, and one of the things we were sort of working toward was, hey, you have a track, but we could also play this for you. And then I felt like I get more to do, which is always fun.
Oh, yeah. Well, right, like, that's kind of the shtick that as the showrunners we try and figure out, because we're putting a show together, but we also want to perform, but not take time away from the people whose, primary shot is through a convention's variety show.
Right. It's like, I have a show. I don't need to perform at AC Tonight. But we do it
Yeah.
because it makes a nice bookend. It's, and like Carol Burnett always did something, whether it was a monologue or a song or, But then she let her guest stars kind of shine.
Yeah.
So...
And that's a great way to put it. Like, everything we do as far as putting together the variety show is all that we can to elevate whoever is on stage at that moment. As far as, like, whoever the head, the act is. Not necessarily us as supporting players.
And I'm always sort of careful to make sure that people know I'm not there because I think I'm the be-all, end-all, a great... look at me, I'm the great performer here. I'm going to make everybody, I'm there to help out because I like helping out. I like
But you are pretty good.
So, well, I know I have some skills, so.
Let's see. B. Nuki says, singing with a band is more fun, but challenging. Well, and I think, so, like, to a certain extent, this is where, from my perspective, I got to watch the show where people would sing along to a track, and then where they were singing along to what you were doing. And, how long have you been some form of professional musician?
Since before you were born.
Probably, yep.
It's before the before times, man.
Before the before times.
Yes, before the before times.
Lyndon Johnson was in office, that's all I'll say.
But, like, that's what's cool about it is you're without thinking about it, passive skill means you're doing something that is so reliable it might as well be the same as a recorded track. So, like, you get to provide a cool experience and be a foundation. It wouldn't be like me going, hey, I know this song you're doing, and I just memorized that piece on piano 2 days prior. You want to try it? That's a disaster.
Yeah. I'm not going to say that happens with some people. It happens sometimes.
Oh, we also have More. Hello, More.
More.
How do you like it? How do you like it?
The person.
Open goal only. Whatever that means. Okay.
So I
Wait,
said originally,
locked
but
up.
I am curious how you and Skippy came to know each other.
I blame Rhubarb.
Probably, yeah. Golly.
Is the quick pace insanity
Honestly,
ramping up?
I'm trying to think way
I
back.
feel
I
like
can't.
I've never not known Skippy, so that's a hard one. When
I honestly can't remember. Did we enjoy each other's company at Anthrocon before or after
or
you moved
Metaplex,
to?
or Method Fermi, or
Yeah, okay.
or
At some point, you moved to Florida. I'm pretty sure I didn't know you until after that, but there
or
were.
you may have, because I attended one con, which was Method Fermi 2011, before moving to Florida.
Okay, I was at Oh no, wait, no, I was not at Method Fermi. I thought you said MFF for a second.
No,
I sort of
not
abbreviated it in
FF.
my head. And then I get the abbreviations mixed up. No, so it was probably after you moved to Florida. And I would not be surprised if it was around Anthrocon, one of those years. I remember there was a Sunday at Anthrocon you were watching someone play a piano in one of the lobby areas.
Was that
Not so
Foxamore?
well. No, it was just some guy who was practicing his video game music.
Oh.
And eventually, he stopped playing the piano, cleared it up, and, you know, we pulled back the chair and let Cosmik sit down and have a crack at it. And he turned to me and said, "What do furries like? What music do furries listen to?" And I'm just like,
You had 3 answers.
Yes, there's the furry convention sing-along trifecta. One was Journey, Don't Stop
Yep.
Believing.
Yep.
One was Take On Me
Yep.
by Aha, and then the other one would be Bohemian Rhapsody.
Which is the song that started it all there.
So-
because what was his name? British Fur took a video, and what I remember is, so Tuesday morning, Monday morning, I don't know, whenever it was, Rhubarb and I are in the car, we're driving home, and somebody tweets it and says, "Cosmik, I think this is you." And that's when I saw it, and it had gotten like stupid number of views, so it was clearly a Popufur, much more Popufur than I ever will be. But,
I don't remember who was filming it, but it was popular because you were doing a really kick-ass job on the piano. You amassed a huge number of people in a very short period of time, from what I remember.
Well,
there was just
yeah,
your music
there was
choices
the
were
whole,
pristine.
y'all need to cut that out because you're blocking the egress thing.
Yes, we played until they kicked us out because we became a fire hazard.
Oh, isn't that one? Like that's a milestone for every furry performer at some point. Has the fire marshal been the reason your panel ended?
Not the fire marshal, but the hotel manager was like,
Right? And it wasn't even a panel room. This was way out in the open. This is like
was
the second
floor
floor.
lobby of the Westin.
The Westin.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah. It was definitely, speaking of that location, that's where we marshaled for a lot of the equipment during the recording for Anthrocon Online in Pittsburgh. Oh yeah, how was, by the way, your DC, you were in DC doing that portion of the live stuff, or were you also then in
Okay,
Pittsburgh?
So, no, we were invited to Pittsburgh, and the problem was, I thought, this is great. We'll still get to go to Pittsburgh for the 4th of July. But that wasn't what they were doing. They wanted everything pre-recorded. And so we had shows, you know, the whole time. We had like maybe if we left on a Sunday night and returned on a Wednesday morning, we could have done something, but nobody else could, of course. So we didn't end up going to the Pittsburgh thing. And I still wasn't exactly sure what everything was going to be, but I said, you know, if you want us to do a thing, why don't we just do all of this stuff live from the studio where you're going to be broadcasting it? Again, not knowing really much about it at all. But they sort of went with that idea. So while a bunch of it was pre-recorded in Pittsburgh in June, Rhubarb and I went up to the studio where the whole virtual Anthrocon was being put together and broadcast. And they had a green screen studio in there. And we did our show live, and then just sort of hung out and drank wine with Uncle Kage all weekend. So then they're like, closing ceremony. What are we going to do for closing ceremony? I don't know. I guess we got to have a closing ceremony. I said, why don't we sing the closing ceremony? And so we did a number, and then Kage gave me a bunch of notes and things, and I ended up just singing the thank yous at the end, improving the whole thing.
Oh, that's
so that
beautiful.
was great fun. And I'm hoping that it'll like be available somehow. Because
Yes.
that stream got a bit of a copyright strike from all the
Oh.
dance comp videos that used copywritten music. So Saturday, I can still access for our show, but the Sunday thing, wah wah.
I'm also going to say hello really quick to Z&Z Games, Polygon Alchemist. I think an Alkali is out there as well. Hello and welcome.
Hey, everybody.
Hey. I don't know where I am. Okay. Oh, there's no. Ooh.
I don't know where I am. In the game or in life?
In the game and life.
Well, I'm really glad that they listened and let you do a live show, because I find that's a lot more stimulating than just watching a pre-recorded session. But, you know, that's me.
I like that there was a mix.
I really wanted to make it interactive, and our problem is because of the lag, it's just so hard to do anything interactive, and I am bereft of multiple monitors, unlike apparently everybody else in this chat room.
I'm actually only on one monitor.
Oh, that's impressive.
But it's a large one, and my game window is pretty moderately shrunk, so...
See, I couldn't figure out how to shrink the game window.
There is... If you did want to...
Alt-Enter.
On a Mac, though. So, like, if it's doing the app full screen thing, I don't know if the 3-finger swipe will work or not.
Oh.
I know out of context that perhaps sounds weird.
I will tell you right now, it does not.
Okay. This is one of the other things I have to experiment with for the Mac instructions for this, is how to deal with... It's full screen. Now what? There is a setting somewhere, in theory, that will make it not full screen. I thought that's what it defaults to. Oh, sorry, Cosmik.
You keep apologizing like that's not the point of the game.
Well, it is, but, you know, I'm looking for the person...
There you go. Suck it, Cosmik.
So when Draggor brought this up, I told him, I said, I am going to be here for the comic relief of a total noob who has no idea what he's doing and is completely inadept at navigating with WSAD, which sounds like a very low-key radio station.
It's pronounced WASD. I've heard it pronounced that once.
Oh, hey! From far beyond the grave, I fragged Cyrus. Huzzah. So are you both gonna be at Megaplex?
Yeah, sort of.
What's your plan for Megaplex, Cosmik?
Okay, so as usual, Megaplex did not consult me before booking their hotel space, and so Rhubarb and I have shows Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday afternoon, and Friday and Saturday night. So we'll be there. I'm actually, I get to do a DJ set this year.
Nice.
Oh, nice.
And so on Thursday night, starting at 9 p.m., I'm doing a two-parter. 9 p.m. on Thursday is going to be a welcome party, which is very, very cheesy, like ship launch, the kind of thing that if you were on an actual cruise, when they're doing like the whole, you know, in case of a lifeboat, you know, this is where you go. There's a whole intake show speech that you have to go to when you're on a cruise. So we're gonna have fun with that sort of thing, and lots of just cheesy pop stuff.
Sort of like the stewardess talk when you're boarding a plane.
Yeah. But anyway, so that'll be very family oriented, you know, bring the kids and all that sort of thing. And then at 10 o'clock, after I'm done with that, then I'm going to go in. I don't know what I'm going to do, but probably some rock and hip hop, because no one else is bringing that this year.
Yeah, I like variety. That's nice. I'll be there for sure. I'll be at Megaplex. I'm running a couple panels on Friday.
Oh, excellent.
And I'll be helping organize the parade on Sunday night. That's the second parade.
Oh, cool.
And since it's after closing ceremonies, it's shipwreck themed to close out the cruise theme.
Oh. So there's two parades. Is that
We
a
have
new thing, or is that something
parades.
Megaplex always does?
No, Megaplex has always done that. That's been going
For a
on.
long time, yeah. It was
Yeah.
it was started unofficial. It's Sunday night. The con's pretty small. We're just looking for a way to make it more interesting. And Yappy had the idea to do just an impromptu parade, and just threw it together. And we amassed a pretty good number of people to participate in the parade. So that worked out really well. And then he led it into. This was his stroke of genius. He led the parade into the dances, the Dead Dog dance, where the parade ended, and everyone just danced. And so we've been keeping that going since that first one. It's a little bit more official now.
That's great.
Yeah, now, and it was sort of a chance for the hotel staff who were busy working all weekend, but wanted to see the parade and couldn't, like if the night shift didn't get to. So it gave the hotel staff an additional opportunity to...
And dealers.
Yeah, dealers, any people who couldn't make the main parade
Staff,
had a chance
yeah.
to come see.
And you organized the parade one year too, if I remember.
I guess. I don't know.
It just
I don't
sorta
know how much
happened.
organization. My recollection of organizing it is going, I don't know what I'm doing. Skippy, take the mic, make a parade.
That's probably what happened, yeah.
I think it is. But that was, as far as I know, when we sort of said, okay, let's make a thing out of it.
Yeah.
And start it in the dance hall and end up back in the dance hall by having
One
a
of the-
dance that goes on.
One of the challenges of that parade is that it's still very much happening in a somewhat unofficial capacity, in the sense that the staff aren't really doing it. It's just volunteers doing it. I'm not officially on staff. I'm just bringing down some local Georgia furs. We're going to help make this thing happen. And in fact, we don't have access to any of the convention's equipment. Staff are done for the weekend. It's past closing ceremonies. They've packed up and put everything
Yeah.
away except for main events. And main events is where the parade ends. So where we load in, where parade load-in happens, I don't have access to mic and speakers or anything like that. So it's a lot of scrambling and screaming. It's a lot of fun. And this is the first time we're doing a themed parade, the shipwreck thing. So if you're listening and you're coming to Megaplex and you have a fursuit and you want to be in the Sunday night parade, it's shipwreck themed. Bring floaties, pull tubes, life vests, however you want to dress up, some water-related props, just to make it a little more interesting.
This works out.
Bring
If I
the
happen to,
frame of
well,
a piano.
I was gonna say if I go, I'm probably not bringing the Robbie suit because I don't really want to fly with that if I don't have to. Also,
I hope you
assuming
make it.
tickets haven't sold out, because it is capped because of safety concerns, right?
I think there's still
Yes.
tickets, but the sales close tomorrow at midnight. As far as
Oh.
I know.
That sounds about right, yeah.
So do
midnight
not
something.
delay.
Then I guess I have to decide really quickly if I'm gonna go or not.
Yes,
think I-
there is no on-site registration this year. That's part of the COVID protocols.
It is all pre-reg.
Interesting. I guess, I mean, that is how a lot of conventions have ideally wanted it to be. From a planning standpoint, you want to know how many people are going to show up ahead of time and have their money ahead of time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the pandemic was an opportunity to cap the attendance and make life a little bit easier in at least one regard, even though it's going to be a lot harder in many others.
Yeah. I think
Yeah, we'll
because
see how it goes. I'm looking at the website. There's 150 spots left, so you have until tomorrow night or when they run out of those last 150 tickets.
Cool. So you heard it here, folks. If you want to go to Megaplex, go get your tickets
Yep.
now.
4 weeks
Do not
away.
delay.
4 weeks,
4 weeks
away.
away.
That's nuts.
Do not
See,
delay.
that's the hard part. Is I'm gonna go reg for it, and then I have to do the airline song and dance. Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
I hope you
Skippy!
don't have to rent a car.
Is
well, actually,
the-
I don't know how bad it is in Orlando, but renting a car right now, because of the microchip shortage, it's kind of a bitch. The prices are just up there. really up there.
Do you need to rent a car to get between the airport and the venue?
No,
Not if you
no,
know.
but if if you're one of those people who likes to stick around after the con, go to Disney, explore the area, something like that.
It's one of those things where I'm very lucky that I got to go to Disney a couple of times as a kid, but I've never been as an adult. Honestly, I'm more intrigued by checking out Megaplex than I am hitting up Disney, because then at Megaplex, I'm actually around furries. And at Disney, I'm
Yeah.
around, I don't want to say imposters, because a lot of furries do work the costumes at Disney.
That's true, and they enjoy it too. But those are cast members.
Yes.
And it's a different thing, yeah.
Cosmik, do you have any other conventions you're looking to go to or hope to go to?
Well, we will be at Method Furmeet again this year.
When is that one?
Labor
That
Day
is
weekend.
Labor Day weekend in Greater Memphis. It's actually in Olive Branch, Mississippi. But it's the Memphis
I didn't get that.
Metro.
Could you
Oh,
try again?
Sorry, Siri.
That picked up. That was awesome.
Shut up, Siri.
Siri, call mom.
Careful now. We don't need that going over. Also, I saw in the chat, hello, Logarth. If you can and would like to, go to Megaplex. I haven't been myself yet. I think Alkali is one of the guests. He was supposed to be, and then, pandemic.
Alkali is, yes. Along with Hyena Agenda and Kyle Gold.
Kyle.
Yeah, I should figure out how to go. That would be fun. I would help out here and there on, the Draggit panels, and then I'd probably just attend. I have not outright attended a con in a long time. So I'm kind of...
It's pretty relaxing.
For each of y'all, if you have an answer, what's the last con you outright attended? And, you can do a show or a panel here and there, but not staff, no rigorous schedule, just you show up, do a couple of your things, and hang out. I think mine was... Which is the one in St. Louis?
F3?
Gateway.
Oh, yeah.
Gateway. Alkali and I think it was the weekend after First Squared, and last minute drove and did 2.5 days of Gateway Fur Meet. And we each did, we just did a couple of panels, did a Who's Line show and some stuff, and then otherwise just hanging out. I actually got to fully browse a dealer den and artist alley. I got commissions for the first time in years.
That's great. I love just attending a convention, although I don't understand what you mean when you say no rigorous schedule. Because even just attending, I'm, before the con, scrambling. I'm looking through the whole schedule, oh, I want to attend this panel, I want to attend this panel. And I've got a whole freaking calendar full of things I want to do. And I'm running around like a headless chicken trying to see everything.
That is a
Even though I have
form
no
of it.
obligations at all.
There are cons I've been to where I clearly wasn't staff, but the way the schedule lined up for all of the panels I was on, it did not allow for much rest. And not to say that partying isn't fun, but it's not exactly restful. Especially when you forget that, you said yes to the 11 a.m. panel and you're getting back to your room at 3 a.m., and you have no
11.
idea when you're going to go to bed.
I remember a fur fright where I went to bed at 2 or 3 a.m. and I was running the Saturday morning cartoons that go from 6 to 10. So that was an adventure in delirium.
Did you stay up to do that panel, or did you manage to get some shut-eye?
I set my alarm and I slept for 2 hours.
Oh, wow.
It was better than nothing, I think.
I
remember
have...
being a zombie much of the next day.
Yeah, I've had a couple of cons where I got to have my fun. I got to stay out. My alarm, if it was set at all, was 11:30 or noon. So I got to, sleep in, feel rested, hotel beds notwithstanding. And it was just such a great change of pace.
Right. Yeah, my thing is, like, even at a con where I'm just there to relax and not have any obligations, and, like, I don't know anyone who can just pull me into an event and be like, you're helping now. It's still, like, if I'm not on all the time, I'll feel like, you know, the whole fear of missing out thing. I'll feel like,
Yes.
oh, well, I'm not in fursuit, and everyone else is in fursuit, so I have to be in fursuit, and I'll just feel this pressure to wear myself the fuck out.
Cosmik, do you ever go through anything like that, or are you more the chill and ride out the weekend?
Oh man, you know, okay, so first off, I tend to volunteer an awful lot because I like to have a purpose for being at a con. Because if I'm just sitting there going, hey, I'm here, then my social anxiety disorder kicks in. So I like to have a task.
I get that.
So that's why I either end up volunteering or staffing. Excuse me, most cons. If nothing more than just saying, I'll do a show or let me do a DJ set or something. I have a reason to be there for that weekend.
Yeah, just a couple panels, contribution of some sort. Sort of like a potluck. Like, you'd feel weird if you weren't part of the mix somehow.
Right. But I learned early on, don't try and set an agenda. Just go with it. Just enjoy the weekend and take things as they come up.
My brain tells me to do that. Or my heart tells me to do that, I guess. And then some other part of me is just like, but you also want to have a rigorous schedule full of all the things you want to do so you don't miss it. It's weird.
I don't know about y'all, but I'm coming off of, so, you know, not counting 2020, but if you use, you know, first squared February 2020 and go the past 12 months, I was doing at least one convention a month. I was doing double digits of cons. And what you both are saying as far as, like, just contribute, but also take the weekend as it happens, I think I kind of am okay with missing out on some stuff here and there. There will be another convention. It might not be the same as the one you're at. You know, they all have their own fingerprint. They've got their own DNA. But
yes, there will be another convention. I mean, that's apparently not always true. There could be a pandemic and then no other conventions. But so sometimes it's like, just, you know, treat this convention like it's your last. But at the other time, yeah, you gotta take it. You gotta chill out and not overdo it.
Cosmik, I did want to ask, as far as, like, the feel of stuff. So, of the different types of performances you've done, are there particular differences between doing a show at a furry con or even different furry cons in the fandom versus, you know, you're doing a theater thing or you're doing a covers night? Like, what's...
Well, okay, so everything's different. You know, when I'm at the Playhouse, which is my main gig, I call it my 9 to 5, you know, we're doing shows that are already written. So they come to us in a box, and my job is to, you know, help them cast the actors who are going to be in the show, and then I teach them the music, and I play for the show and all that sort of thing. At Disney, I'm just sort of doing my own thing, and it's, you know, anything from just cocktail lounge background piano to what we call cabaret. You know, in the pub, it's a little more focus on me as opposed to the hotel lobby where the focus is not really on me, on background music. Or at Hoop-de-Doo, that's an actual show. So, you know, I'm playing a pre-written score for the show that's happening. At FurCons, we've sort of settled into just Rhubarb and I getting up and doing our thing, and we have a fair amount of original material now between the stuff that Rhubarb has written, which is most of it, and the stuff that I've written. So at one point I said, "Oh, you know what furries really want? They want smut. They like porn." All the furry artists who do the best all do porn, and look at after dark shows and all that sort of thing. So I thought I'm going to do an after dark show and a very R-rated show, and it just wasn't me. I'm sure the 7 people who attended enjoyed it, but it wasn't. Look at that. It wasn't me. So we just sort of stick to our PG-13 push the limit now.
I, for one, greatly appreciate pushing the limit, regardless of, like the more restrictive the rating, it's almost like it's a bigger badge of pride, the sneakier stuff you can get through. When I first heard when you did at the end of the Anthrocon variety show, the Go Home, Get Out, was just such a wonderful... It is the exact type of snark and affection I love mixed together.
I wish I could say we wrote that, but we did not write
Oh.
that. We stole that.
I was gonna say I don't think I've heard that one. I'll have to look for it.
It's actually from a Broadway show, a Broadway musical version of the Mel Brooks film, The Producers.
See, I have
It's
never
what they sing
seen...
after the bows.
It's such a great closer. And then, what was the other snark one? And I think I have that linked somewhere. Make America Great Britain Again?
Oh, that is such a beauty. That is a beauty.
Yeah.
My one appearance on the Dr. Demento show.
So,
Really?
I have I have a quick
minute.
little story for you before I want to ask more about the Dr. Demento stuff. I learned about Dr. Demento because of Napster. I was downloading all of these songs, and as was the rule at the time, every silly song was a Weird Al song, no matter who wrote it.
Right?
So I'm playing on my computer, They're Coming to Take Me Away. And I'm like, I obviously can tell that it's not Weird Al, but it's labeled Weird Al. And my dad hears it and goes, "Oh, Dr. Demento!" Because it was a very popular song that he would play. And that's how I learned about it. Because I downloaded We're Coming to Take Me Away by Weird Al on Napster.
Quote unquote Weird Al.
Yeah.
But it wasn't. It was by Napoleon the 14th.
So how did your Dr. Demento thing come to happen? Like, I don't know how any of that works. Like, how you get to be on there.
I want to hear the story.
Like many things, I think it pretty much started because Calamity Cougar willed it to be so. And I posted it on my Cosmik Facebook page, I think. And Calamity saw it and tagged Dr. Demento in it somehow. So I'm like, okay, whatever, good. The next thing I know, we're at TFF 2020, one of the last cons before everything shut down. And I have gotten an email from this fellow named Barry who says he's with the Dr. Demento show. And will I send them a copy of the song? They've heard that it was pretty good and they want to maybe play it on the show. Turns out, I mentioned this to Rhubarb and a couple of other people and the like, that is Dr. Demento.
Oh, that's his actual
real name.
That's amazing.
And then from there, it took a while, and I got it on a thing called the Fump, which is the funny music page or project. And Dr. Demento hangs out there a great deal looking for stuff.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, so anyway, it got into their top 10 and got featured on one of their compilations, and the next thing I know, it was on the Demento show 1 week in like maybe a year ago. along with a disclaimer for anyone who has heard the song. You know that there's a word, and as he said, you know, we would normally not play anything with that kind of language, but it's used in this case in the British sense, in which case it's not considered offensive at all. It's just another thing you call someone, so we're allowing it.
Oh, that's wonderful.
That's incredible. Dude, congratulations. That is so cool. I can't believe I didn't know about that. A year ago.
That was about a year ago. Anyway, it appeared once. Who knows if you'll ever play it again? Because it's
maybe the radio edit.
Well, it's not terribly relevant anymore, really.
Right.
You know, not like it was.
True. I mean, it unfortunately still is. It's just kind of on ice.
Yeah, well.
I mean...
We'll wait till Ron DeSantis.
Oh, no. Now I'm sad. I only have myself to blame.
Oh, bye, Cosmik. I just punched him into the void.
Into the void! Cosmik. That
Yes.
instantaneous green ray beam gun. How do you feel about that one?
Wait. That?
I think if you press 7, it'll show up.
Yes.
Yeah.
Anyway, the answer doesn't matter because we're gonna switch to jumpy bullshit.
Well, we're already on it, but yes, I will change the game mode. Alright, I'm gonna do that here. Yeah, cons, I'm looking to going back. I guess the performer schedule, like, it's fun, but I'm gonna try and space it out a little bit better.
Yeah, absolutely.
I am gonna try and do the suiting on stage thing. For a while, I would only be in suit if I was on stage, and that was kind of a shyness factor.
But you would only be in suit if you were on stage, or you would only be on stage if you were in suit?
I would only be on stage if I was in suit with my face covered.
Okay, that makes sense.
And then I worked on being on stage out of suit, and let me tell you, that was nerve-wracking. But it turns out, so what's it saying? Make the art you want to see. Well, it's furry, damn it, so I want to see more fursuits. So depending on which type of show it is, and if it would, like, help or hinder, in my view. So, like, you know, if I'm the only one running a Who's Line, for example, I probably don't want to be in suit for that. There are hindrances to being masked that don't help. Especially, you know, when I have to pick people from an audience and my lenses are fogged.
Well, also, it's kind of hard to run a one-person improv thing. You kind of need the panel.
Yeah, I was saying for that one, the audience participation. So, you know, the pool of performers is, in theory, the majority of the audience size. But then it gets into, oh, I have forgotten to exhale through my mouth. I did it through my nose. I fogged my lenses. And I asked people to raise hands, and I can't see a single one of them.
I get it, yep.
It's going to be even more interesting this year. In suit, you still need to wear a face covering of some sort. It could be a balaclava, so if you're used to that, that's fine.
So yeah, that was also going to be, I read them a while ago. So Megaplex is, regardless of X status, if you're in con space and you're not, you know, seated, eating, and drinking, you got to be masked.
That's right. You have to wear a mask in con space.
Including on stage, or do performers get to take it off to do, you know, microphone and audio stuff?
If you're on stage, you can take your mask off. Because you'll be separated from everybody. Like, the DJs don't have to mask while they're DJing.
Okay.
We're not having people, you know, gathering around and crowding up next to them, hopefully.
Okay. Warranty void if yeen broken. Is that you, Skippy?
Nope. I am Skippy.
Oh. Oh, that's got to be... I don't know who that is, because it's not Cyrus either. Oh, is that Headfoxen doing that? I bet it's Headfoxen. All right, I'm going to change the game mode, and we're going to do that level again.
That sounds like a plan. Oh, this is so. This, as far as I know, is the first con in North America that's like
That did not work.
happening post-pandemic.
Yep.
And
I'll be
certainly
back
the
in
first
just
one
a
for me.
second. Hang on. Or play, but I'll be back in a second.
Okay.
First con back. Who knows what it's going to be like. I know I'm just going to be very, very happy to see all my friends again.
Yeah, it was a little bit of a mini convention and reunion when we recorded in Pittsburgh, but like we all kind of were... When it was later at night and it was just crew hanging out, that still felt like a con because, sometimes you retreat to room parties or what have you. But when it was during the day in Pittsburgh and like we're clearly doing Anthrocon things and there aren't random fursuits wandering around, the places aren't packed, the hotels are empty, it's just...
Different, right?
Because like I got in Thursday and I didn't mind Thursday because I don't know about you, but I'm kind of used to getting in before the madness begins.
Right.
Also, there's an ocean current. Hello! I'm doing as well as can be. I guess I didn't mention this. If I end earlier than usual today, it's because I'm still recovering from having magnificently screwed up my hip and back. I don't know if it showed up on the video or not, or what the Luppet did, but I went from sitting to standing and moved the desk. So if the avatar's in a pretty messed up position, blame that.
How many people were there in Pittsburgh? At
a high end, 30. I don't think it was actually 30, but everyone had to be vaccinated. For the most part, like if it was just us in the load and load out room, masks weren't required, but a lot of us here and there, depending on the environment, still wore them. That was actually the first weekend I did anything after being in the safe zone.
Oh, wow.
So, like, that was the first time I went out to a restaurant and ate with a mask off in a year and a half. It was...
Well, I still go to restaurants with my mask on, but you mean like taking off your mask just to eat?
Yes. And that's what I do, like, even here in Chicago. If I'm outside, I don't wear it because that's pretty safe unless, like, it's really packed. Right. And then if I'm going inside, I just put the mask on. And then... Yeah, because, like, all right, what do the numbers say? Disclaimer, we're not doctors. But, like, if you're vaccinated, it seems like some of the worst case. If you get the Delta variant, you're sick and it sucks for 2 days. So, like, as far as the scare of if you get COVID, you might die, well, you're not. It really looks like you're probably not going to die, and you're probably not going to get hospitalized. But I still don't want it. Like, I'm going to mask forever now. I've said this on a few times. I went a year and a half without getting a cold. I have never had that happen before in my life. I am going to keep masking.
Same. And honestly, I want to continue to normalize that behavior, so I'm going to keep wearing a mask even if I find it's fairly safe to do to walk around without one. Because I want people to see that and say, hey, maybe wearing a mask doesn't look so bad.
Well, yeah, like, I'm still going through a pack of disposables I have, but, Zanny and Alkali commissioned some adorable Persona-themed reversible face masks. So, like, the more I get to normalize wearing furry bullshit in public, the happier I am.
Very nice. It's funny, I did buy some disposables as well, and I haven't opened the package yet, because I very rarely leave the house, and then I forgot all about them. So they just sit there in the kitchen, being unused, but hopefully I'll find a use for those.
And yeah, I guess I'll do the shout out. I've been pretty bad about this lately. The Discord we've been on is the Alkali and Zanny / Drag It Show Discord. So as always, big thanks to them for allowing me to use that Discord and not making y'all add yet another server to your connection list.
Thank you both.
If you're on my Twitch, this is also being streamed to the Alkali and Zanny YouTube page, which is where the archives live. So if you want to see what others in our group do, and by others in our group, I mean, from my perspective, the two big pioneers, Alkali and Zanny and the Drag It Show, go check them out. Of course, our guest, Cosmik, once he comes back, if you go to draggor.me, I don't know if my avatar is pointing above or not, but if you want to find Cosmik and the music that he does and all of those other wonderful things, the most recent post is Cosmik's post, and in that post are all of the links to where you can find Cosmik on the internet. There's going to be Megaplex coming up. So it is confirmed, it seems, that MFF is going to be happening in December. Have you done that one before? Are you going to go to it this year?
I have been to MFF many times. This might be the first one in a long time that I skip, actually, just because we're already planning to be at Anthro Northwest in November, and that one's really close in time to MFF.
Cosmik, are you back?
I think so.
Hooray! Let me boost your volume a little bit here. There we go. Yeah, I just plugged go to my website and click through your links, but if you wanted to specifically shout out and advertise to our wonderful listeners, where can they find you? What should they go check out that you've done most recently?
Well, I have a Patreon that some very lovely people subscribe to, even though I'm really rubbish at keeping up with it, and I need to do better on that. Although one thing I've learned from watching other people on Patreon is that maybe people are happy if all you do on Patreon is say, hey, Patreons, you get to watch me on Twitch as I do my homework. Come watch me just like scribble notes on paper or learn how to play a song or something.
You know, I've seen a couple of different musician folks do the work streams, and I can only speak for myself, but judging on the number of people that do show up, there's an audience that find that curious, and it's interesting to see.
Maybe they're learning from watching.
Yeah, that too.
Could be the next big Cosmik.
That was my snarky little joke I did on the post. I come up with a little subheading for each guest. Oh, damn you, Cyrus. And this one's was, what comes after Galaxy Brain? Cosmik. I mean, it's an endorsement too, but you know, I've seen that meme enough. It was time to poke at it a little bit. Binuki says,
brains that,
yeah, the quad damage doesn't do much in this other than put a purple glowy target over your head in this mode.
And Cyrus is killing us.
Yes. It is. Well, you're doing all right. Skuro also in the music crew. I don't know. Assuming we all still get to do it, Cosmik, we always talk about it, and then, you know, all of a sudden, Anthrocon is a month and a half away, and we're like, oh. But the thing we kind of always wanted to do, at least Alkali and I were curious about, was have the option to put up, like, a skit or a script that we as furries wrote. And, you know, if there's music with it or not, what have you. And then get a group that basically says, oh, yeah, we'll do that. We'll rehearse it.
Be like the old days of the mask.
Yes, yes. That's what it was used to. I've been struggling to find the name when it was called The Masquerade.
The variety show, yes.
Yeah. Who was it? Was it?
A nice long chat with Uncle Kage this past weekend about the history of the masquerade at FurCons.
Nice. Was that one of the live stream panels?
No, that was just us sitting around drinking schnapps one afternoon.
Ooh, fancy.
Because the Masquerade at FC is actually not a variety show, right? At Further Confusion. That one's more of a just walk on the catwalk and show off your fursuit.
Oh, it's
Well,
more.
Or it used to be. I don't know if it still is. I haven't been to Further Confusion in a very long time.
I have never been.
That's a very old school thing.
Yeah. So close.
B Nuki says more furry musicals, please.
Yes. Ah, that would be amazing. Actually, I know that. Well, Rhubarb has a project.
Yes.
Is this the one that just completed streaming, or is there something else?
Well, no, that was it. Okay, so
I need to have
first of all,
Rhubarb on as well.
yeah. So Rhubarb is his current thing that he's working on in vis-a-vis this sort of thing is called Oni, the Runaway Circus Bear. And we've been doing a few songs from it at our shows that we've done online this year. We did a kind of a reading of it at Mephit Fur Meet 3 years ago now, it seems.
Cool.
Back in 2018. Where and even then it was incomplete, but it was sort of a work in progress reading, and it's the story of Rhubarb's dad, Onesimus the Great, who was a circus bear, and this is like I feel like the challenge here is you get me on to try and talk while my brain is doing split things here. Not so much trying to kill, but trying to avoid getting fragged by Cyrus.
Cyrus is on a tear and has been destroying all of us, so you can rest assured that I too have had many a fucking Cyrus.
It's playing this and running and just talking and actually remembering the sentence that you started by the time you get to the end.
Yeah.
That's a multitasking feat that Draggor here has mastered at this point.
So
I mean,
where was that? Oh yeah, I was on that night in Tulsa. No. Ooh, I'm blowing things up, but I don't know what I'm doing.
We were talking about Oni.
So Oni, the Runaway Circus Bear. Anyway, and it's a rock opera that will primarily exist in recorded form, probably available for digital download, and depending on how the Kickstarter goes, on vinyl, because that's what the kids want these days. The cool format is vinyl.
How do you feel about vinyl having the resurgence that it has been having the past, decade plus?
Okay, being old, I understand the allure of the vinyl. You can hold it in your hand. It's got the jacket has a big surface area with lots of room for art and things, and it's a very tactile experience. Kind of in the way that even CDs are. You put a CD on your bookshelf and you can take it out and take the disc out and pop it in the player and stuff. But man, the sound degradation on vinyl just,
Compared to CD?
Money that people, yeah, where, a CD doesn't start to warp and get dirty and skip and crackle and pop. A CD is always going to sound as good as it did. Vinyl just wears down.
How many plays is it before it's really noticeable?
Oh, I don't know, but I'm on I got to 3 or 4 copies of the Blood, Sweat, and Tears album before I got it on CD, and now I don't have to worry about that anymore.
The thing I always
sounds
heard
good.
was there is a warmth to a fresh press vinyl going through stereo that people claim digital just can't quite match.
They've been claiming that since day one. But, I mean, no, really. I remember the first CD I ever heard was Linda Ronstadt's What's New. My dad had a friend who was rich and bought himself one of those new highfalutin CD players for thousands of dollars. Bought this thing, and I was like, oh, okay. I mean, it sounds better than a cassette. It sounds about the same as a record. I don't know. I never noticed a difference there. You know, what they do is they're like, you know, oh, well, the compression means you're not getting the full sound. And honestly, if you want to do that, go with a reel-to-reel tape, because reel-to-reel tapes were not bound by the RIAA curve, and ostensibly you get a much wider, fuller sound range.
What is RIAA curve?
The Recording Industry Association of America, and they developed this curve, sonic curve, that kept recorded things within a certain range of. I'm not an engineer. Something hertzes or something. Anyway. You know, so if you say, you know, well, this goes down to 40 kilohertz or 20 kilohertz or hertzes or whatever, you know, but reel-to-reel tapes ostensibly are warmer and fuller because they're not subject to that. Now, I don't know if that's the case, but I also like I have the Mary Poppins soundtrack on reel-to-reel because that's how I listened to that original album, not the CD version that changed things up on it. You know, I wanted to hear that original album as it sounded, without all the pops and the cracks and the surface noise.
Does reel-to-reel have degradation, or...?
Right.
Ostensibly, but not the way vinyl does. You know,
And I've always kind of wondered, like, does modern vinyl... Is modern vinyl more durable than what it was? Like, is it even still vinyl? Like, are there other materials?
No, I think it's still vinyl. When I buy vinyl, it's usually vintage. I don't think I bought anything new, and God love him, Fox and Moore tried to give me a copy of Come Find Me or something on vinyl, and I'm like, I really, really appreciate this. This is a lovely gesture, but I also know how much money you charge for these things, and if you can sell that and make some money, I have the CD and I'm happy with the CD. and then I'm like, oh God, does he just think I don't want it, that I'm ingrateful? You know, and I love the album.
I was really
I have
amazed
it on CD.
That Skurrow's album sold so many copies on audio cassette.
Yeah.
Really?
Oh yeah.
When was this?
4 years ago?
Was
Yeah.
it that far?
Wow. That's another person
whenever
I should
his
ask
album
on.
came out. Oh yeah, have Skurrow on. He's so much fun, and you'll get some weird-ass answers to any question you ask.
Fantastic. I probably come across as a Twitter stalker because I will fave every awkward, weird fursuit photo he will post. I love the intentional, creepy, you know, this sneaky in this picture or what have you. Some people are like, Skirls appeared on what, furry cringe compilation stuff, and I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? That this picture appeared on this compilation was the point. Art success. Thank you.
Yeah, I completely agree. I'm not sure if Skurrow agrees, but I agree. I think what he does, he's found like a very unique, niche style of humor.
I didn't get to see all of the bumps, but the Sunday night of Pittsburgh, myself, Fur, and Kabuki were going all around Pittsburgh in fursuits, taking some pictures. And we definitely took a couple of Skurrow-inspired ones in some alleyways.
I'd love to see those.
I don't know if they got used as bumps or not. Logarth says Skuro is an odd duck, and I say incorrect. Skuro is a squirrel.
He is a squirrel.
Alrighty. So,
If you have a persona named I've Made Too Much Pasta, you know you're in for some fun.
the one I remember, I think the first actual, I don't know if it was his show or if he was doing like a couple of song guest spot on a Fox and Pepper one. I feel like it was his show, or like he was doing an opener thing.
Oh, yeah.
And it was what? 100 raccoons is too many raccoons?
Oh, yes, the raccoon song.
Yes, that was my introduction to that wonderful oddball. I mean, if you have an accordion and a jester hat, sold. Done. I'm in.
Yep.
Cosmik, you have multi-instrumentalist abilities. What is an instrument you hope to bring to a stage performance at a FurCon?
That's a good one, because I pretty much stick to the keys publicly.
If you had a, like, you had your official shows in the schedule. You've got, you know, the rehearsed, the good one. You've got you're gonna do the band music for Anthrocon Variety Show, and then maybe at 1 p.m. you have a Cosmik is screwing around panel.
I don't know, man. Because Rhubarb is really the multi-instrumentalist. You know, he did one show at FanCon and at Orlando Fringe where he played like 27 different instruments.
What?
And they all fit in the car to get to FanCon, but I didn't, so I had to fly there and back.
Was that firing my bass teacher?
Yes.
Well, that was a nice little solo show. I enjoyed that a lot.
Oh. I just realized I was not watching the clock. So there are a couple of folks. Oh, they're all in here. I'm just going to unmute everyone since we're all in here. Hello, Cyrus and Head Foxen.
Hello.
Cyrus,
Hey,
were you in
guys.
here long enough where you got to hear me curse your name?
No, I was not.
Aw, well, Cosmik was in the middle of telling us about some musical stuff, and in the middle of it goes, it's so hard to do this and avoid getting shot by Cyrus. To which Skippy and I both bemoaned, you have been slaughtering us the entire evening.
Literally.
Yeah, I want, in general... Oh, so here's a fun one. Part of everything opening up is not just going to FurCons, but going to any music-based events. And, Cosmik, I was wondering, are there any bands you want to see, any shows that you didn't get a chance to go to, and anything you'd recommend people go check out?
There's some Broadway shows I really want to catch. I wanted to see Moulin Rouge on Broadway. We wanted to see Beetlejuice on Broadway, and that just closed down before we could get there.
Didn't know
Moulin
Beetlejuice
Rouge
had a
is-
Broadway show.
Oh, it's a Broadway musical, and it sounds great fun.
I got one. I want to be in movie theaters again to watch Disney Pixar's, and is it Pixar? I can't remember. Encanto, the Columbia-based musical with music by Lin-Manuel Miranda.
I
comes
have not
out
heard
in
of this,
November.
but if that's a Pixar thing, it's at least going to look great, too.
Oh yeah, yeah, it looks really good.
Yeah, Cosmic, a show you should see if you're in the New York area. They brought it back. Is To Kill a Mockingbird.
But it's not a musical.
It's not, but I saw it a couple years ago with Jeff Daniels as Atticus, and it was fucking amazing.
Ooh.
Oh, I'm sure he's a pretty underrated actor. He's like, you know, he's more than just Dumb and Dumber.
Yeah,
And
there
like I
is,
said,
if y'all
he's
have
got some
seen it,
serious chops.
The short versions of them, clips of them, are on YouTube. Sam Jones, The Off-Camera Show. And it's an interview show, and it's sometimes a bit, you know, really, really into itself. But, I don't know, it doesn't bother me. And his conversations with Jeff Daniels are very cool. And the conversations he has with a lot of people are... They actually talk about the craft. Like, if you're a person who... You hear a song and you go, it's pure magic how it goes from brain to completed thing, and you have no idea what happens in between or how it gets there. And you feel similarly for acting. Sometimes it's directing and writing. There's comedians on there. They get into the meat and potatoes of it a bunch. And the Jeff Daniels one I enjoyed greatly.
Nice.
And he specifically talks about one of the clips was pretty popular up there was how Dumb and Dumber happened and why he did it and just everything around it. It was cool.
Yeah, I think the last musical I saw was the Carole King one.
Which one?
Beautiful.
Beautiful. It's about Carole King.
Am I showing my ignorance? Should I know that name?
No,
Carole
but
King?
you've heard her music.
Yes, you have. When
She was a songwriter.
in trouble.
Cosmik, did you see In the Heights?
The film?
Yes.
Yes. I mean, yes, I saw the stage show as well, but yes, we went to,
Oh.
that was the first thing we saw back in the movies. And there was us and one other couple.
Nice. Low turnouts are very nice in the theater.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I went to
No
see...
screaming kids.
Yep.
We saw that. We went to see the Sparks documentary. That was very enjoyable. And then I went to see Cruella.
How was
also
that?
enjoyed.
How was that?
Here's why I went to see that, for the production design, because it just looked so gorgeous in the trailer. And I was not disappointed, man. The production design was outstanding. The costumes and all that. It had some really fun music from the 60s and 70s. It was not bad. It was, you know, I think they're kind of trying to distance her from the Cruella that we know as a dog napper and dog killer and coat maker of dog fur.
Isn't this the same movie, though, where her parents are killed by Dalmatians?
Well, one of them.
Yeah, it's become a meme. It's achieved meme status now.
You have to see the film.
That
I'll
might
check it
need
out
to
then.
be... how long is it?
It was like 2 hours and 15 minutes.
Oh,
Yeah.
I was going to
but
say, it could be an MST3K movie, but we've learned the hard way. Keep those short.
Yeah, you want a shorter film for that. Like,
We did...
Dr. Zhivago.
right. Over 3 consecutive nights.
Cyrus is
furry
being
on right there.
cheeky.
I had wanted
I'm
to
just
go
pulling a
see
Skippy, it's
Luca,
fine.
What?
And Luca was not in the theaters.
That one I enjoyed, although not nearly as much as Raya and the Last Dragon. And I think it just didn't feel as big. It was just a different story, but it was still fun.
Could be, yeah. I still haven't seen it because I don't watch that much television, even though we do get the Disney Plus.
What is... So, as a purveyor of musicals, I have not seen that many. So if you were to advise someone, any of us folks listening, what's a musical to check out? Could be old, could be new, could be popular, could be obscure. But what's an interesting thing? Either like if you can catch the actual stage show, great. If there's a recording of it, if it's just a film version. because I like a good musical here and there.
Well, if you're going to see a live musical and it's you should probably see Book of Mormon.
I have heard so many wonderful things about that.
It's just so tuneful and irreverent and yet lovely.
And the music's good.
Yeah, there's so much to recommend in that show.
I mean, I unironically stand by that South Park the movie is one of my favorite musicals. Every one of those songs is catchy. It serves the purpose. There isn't much of a down spot in the entirety of the movie. It's wonderful.
Yeah, if you
Then
like that,
Draggor,
you'll
I'm assuming
love-
you like Cannibal the Musical.
I do.
Yes.
So let's build a snowman.
Yes. So that and graduating to the Book of Mormon is just a natural progression.
I was one of the folks that did get to see, it was like a second or third run Spam-A-Lot. I unfortunately did not get to see Tim Curry as King Arthur.
I got to see Jay Peterman as Arthur.
Ooh.
Is that a person who does a lot of musical stuff?
No, I keep forgetting his name. He played Peterman on Seinfeld.
Oh!
Oh, was that Larroquette?
No,
No,
I'll
but
look it up.
looks similar to him. I would definitely agree with that.
John O'Hurley.
Oh, that's right.
And I remember seeing it was the first time playing it outdoors. It was in St. Louis, and it had been during
Yes,
the
movie.
scene where they they have there's a cymbal, and they get the big cymbal crash out of the pit.
Mm-hmm.
He's on the edge of the stage, and he looks down at the poor percussionist with the cymbals and says, "You know, son, if you played a real instrument, they'd give you a chair." But that was an amazing show.
I did see Wicked. I think that might be the last, in terms of like most recent, which is unfortunately far too long ago. I saw one of the runs of Wicked. It was not Anna Gasteyer, which is unfortunate because I would have really liked to see that. Yeah.
When I saw Wicked, it was a surprise gift from my parents for Hanukkah. We all got tickets to see Wicked the next August, and it happened to be a show during a furry convention that I was high up on staff at the time, and I was just broken, like, oh gosh, how am I gonna do this? I ended up doing both, like some kind of freak Mrs. Doubtfire episode.
Yeah, I'm very jealous of one of my friends because he got to see the producers with Matthew Broderick and Nathan Lane.
Oh, wonderful.
Oh, wow.
He said he almost threw up from laughing so much.
Mel Brooks is a wonderful, wonderful madman.
Yes.
Oh yes.
That's actually one of the Mel Brooks related. There's a couple of us in Chicagoland area that are David Lynch fans. And we have none of us have seen Eraserhead. Which the fun history there is Mel Brooks saw it and loved it. But he's like, we can't put my name on it. People will think it's a comedy, and instead they're going to get traumatized. So
David Lynch is the comedy songwriter, right?
David Lynch, most known for fucked up Twin Peaks, Blue Velvet. He's also known for doing that original Dune movie, but it's like the least David Lynch thing he's done. But
Okay, not who I was thinking of.
yeah,
I think you're thinking of Stephen Lynch.
Yes, I'm thinking of. Thank you.
Yeah, no. Stephen Lynch and David Lynch are very different Lynches.
Good to know. Noted.
I must inform Zanny that Stephen Lynch and David Lynch names were mixed up. I believe they will enjoy that little chuckle.
Let's get them together.
But yeah, Mel Brooks.
Then we'll have a Lynch mob.
Oh.
Did you all hear that George Lynch finally retired that name as the group name? Because like Lynch is George Lynch, guitarist, songwriter. If your last name is Lynch, you're by default a comedy songwriter.
Yes. It's the only Lynch I know.
Some might say some of George Lynch's material is unintentionally funny, but that would be a mean thing to say.
Yeah, so
what was that?
On the topic, Cosmic, on the topic of musicals, what's your favorite classic musical?
The Music Man.
All right.
I have very sentimental attachment to The Music Man.
Gotcha. Yeah, that's one I've not seen.
I have seen that one, and I'm actually trying to remember any song from that one, and it's not coming into my head.
Really?
It's been a while, I
What's
guess.
the one that Iggy
I remember how it
will
starts. There's that
spoken
rhythm
word
going on.
roll through? Is the Music Man You Got Trouble?
That's the one.
Yep.
Ha.
If you all ever run into Iggy the Dinosaur, ask Iggy if he's got trouble. And he'll probably curse my name, because he'll probably know I was the one that said to do this. But you'll be in for a treat. It's Iggy does quite a unique performance rendition. Love
Is
you,
this like
Iggy.
Cartman when somebody sings "I'm sailing away" and then has to finish the whole thing.
It's kind of like that, although perhaps a slightly more accurate version is if you go to a Reverend Horton Heat show and you have a jackass in the crowd that shouts "Freebird," they might just play the whole goddamn thing, and no one wants that.
Actually, I once saw a very small Slash impersonator play the solo to Freebird behind his back while riding on someone's shoulders.
What?
Yeah. That was deployed. They had the USO band, USO band or band come through on a USO tour, and they played some of their own stuff and they did covers, and people were shouting Freebird, so they said fuck it, we'll play Freebird. Played the long version, and before the solo, they had this just giant dude come up out of the audience, one of the other airmen, and Mini Slash climbed up on his shoulders, guitar and all, and just was walked around under the big tent. Because this guy was like 5 foot tall, but looked like Slash, hat and all, and no shit, played the long solo behind his back while riding on this guy's shoulders.
That's
it was fucking
great.
amazing.
Yeah, everyone needs a party trick, right?
Yeah. That's a hell of a trick.
What Dimitri Martin said, learning how to ride a unicycle is a great way to get used to the feeling of bruising your balls. I don't know why that's always stuck with me, but there we are.
Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana, Gary, Indiana.
Gary,
Let me
Indiana,
say it
let
once
me say
again.
it once again.
I remember now, yes. I'm so proud of myself. And 76 trombones in the big parade. Da-da-da-da-da-da-da-da.
Yeah, we
Actually-
played that in band one year for our Christmas parade.
I don't know how it's
Fun.
going to work at Megaplex, but I was just thinking, if the timing works out and an Audience Whose Line is happening while you're there, Cosmic, you should hit up Alkali and see if some shenanigans can happen with that.
I'm always up for shenanigans, but they always have to be late at night because that's when we can get there after our evening shows. Although we did that like a couple of years ago, we did I remember participating in something late night.
Isn't that Farva's favorite restaurant?
I'm gonna pistol whip the one of you who says that one more time.
What, shenanigans?
Oh my. Hands down, my favorite musical of all time is still Little Shop of Horrors.
Original or the Rick Moranis one?
Yes. I feel like these days I'm leaning more towards the... Actually, I think they brought it back to Broadway or off-Broadway
Oh, really?
in the 2000s at some point.
There was
And
a
I have
Broadway
that
revival
cast
in
recording.
yeah,
Yeah,
What
the
year?
revival.
2003.
Is
18
it
years
still
ago
like
now.
touring every once in a while, or would it require like another director and cast to pick it up? I don't really
Well,
know how
it's-
that works. Like, when there are runs of musicals, is it just like a group decides they want to do a version of it? Do they do changes? Like, how does that... Does that vary based
Okay.
on like venue and group area?
So, when a show is a hit on Broadway, it gets picked up by a licensing company. And the licensing company will sit on the, what they call the grand rights, the performance rights, until the producer of the Broadway company has exhausted their income by running it on Broadway, maybe moving it off Broadway, sending out a national tour, or 3 or 4, however many. And finally, then that's done, and they release the amateur rights, which means every theater group who wants to do it just applies for the performance rights. They pay the fee, they rent the materials, and they can put it on. So Little Shop of Horrors is the kind of thing that should be, I mean, you know, groups all over the country do it all the time.
I've seen it in high schools.
Yeah, but that's
Yeah.
why you don't see Hamilton being done everywhere yet.
So like
For
we
less
should
than
we should
$100 a
expect,
ticket.
you know, at some point there's going to be those secondary runs of Hamilton soon because of its success.
Well,
Or-
in another 10 years.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like you can see high schools doing In the Heights now.
Oh, cool.
When
The same way
was
they
that
did
one
Little
originally
Shop of
done?
Horrors. In the Heights opened in 2007, I believe.
Oh, wow. I had no idea it was that old.
Yeah, it was a while ago.
Somehow it wasn't on my radar until it was on HBO Max in movie form.
Okay. I did not know any of that. Awesome. Thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Well, yeah,
So,
I
To
didn't give
paraphrase,
too much
when a mommy
information.
producer and a daddy production company hit Broadway musical love each other very much.
Basically, if you like a show and you want to do it, you just have to apply for the rights, and then when they give you the rights, you can put on the show.
And is
they
it... I think I missed this part. When it's like apply for the rights, are you still having to pay something or pay a percentage of what you take in, or is it like as you
Yes.
said?
It's generally based on how many seats you sell across how many performances and how much you're charging for those seats. It's a bit complicated. They have this whole rubric thing that they follow.
So like when you apply,
For
you have to
musical.
fill out like a
You fill
here's
out
what
the
we're
whole- yeah,
projecting
you
we're
tell
gonna
them-
do.
You say, we would like to do the show these 3 days. Our theater holds 400 people, and we're charging $20 for adults and $10 for students. And then the company plugs all that in and tries to come up with something.
So it's different for every show. Like they go through this process for every application.
Yeah.
Interesting. Huh.
Now, for straight plays, it's a lot easier. Generally, it's like $75 per performance, no matter how many tickets or how many seats.
Is that the same
but-
for? Is that the same for like you know theater schools versus straight up theaters?
Yes. Yep. Anyone who is not a professional producer goes through the same thing there.
Okay.
So dinner theaters, colleges, it used to be called stock and amateur rights, which would be like summer stock, so summer theaters, but like colleges, high schools, universities, all these groups are not professional is Broadway, off Broadway, something where you have a commercial producer as opposed to a producing organization is probably the easiest way to parse it out.
That makes sense.
Awesome. Well, on that educational note, I think I was telling the folks about my back issues recently. We are at a little bit over the 90-minute mark, so through the rest of this map, couple of minutes here, will be the end of the stream. The game server will still be up, and I'll still chat a little bit with folks after the fact. But, Cosmik, thank you so much for saying yes to doing this and going so far outside of your comfort zone to play a hectic, silly, old and new game with us.
I wish I was more lucid speaking to you when I'm doing this. I can talk to you or I can play a game. But apparently I can't do both very well.
That's like the core of the gimmick. So as I've been saying to folks, like, at least once during the show, I want the game to interrupt the train of thought, and you had that, and I was very happy. Like, that's
good. I'm glad I can oblige. Well,
Yeah.
the hook leads you back, you know.
Yeah. And Cyrus, who is just dominating the bejeebus out of us, was the reason for that.
Cyrus clearly rehearses.
He's actually the one just focusing on the game. Doesn't have to be interrupted by questions.
So what you're saying is I should make
Interesting.
Cyrus a guest again.
Ah, yes, that's the strategy.
And not have it on the one where we're just trying to figure out how the hell that... What was it? Not Brittle Doom.
Maybe I should do that again, is pick a date, have a silly prize or something, and have a couple of different matches of... If you want, anyone can play, but if you win, you get points. That could be silly.
Ooh.
But yes, Cosmik, what's the #1 place people should check out if they want to follow what you do?
Probably Twitter. Follow the real Cosmik on Twitter.
And that is quite literally the @, the word the, real Cosmik with a K. And that is
That's right.
a great Twitter feed to check out. You've got the post for other links up ahead at draggor.me, so go check that out too. That's where you'll see all the past episode posts with links to folks, as well as a calendar of upcoming things, if I remember to schedule them out correctly. Thank you to the chat for showing up and listening to all this stuff. There were some cool things. I felt like I learned some cool stuff and some insights from what you do, Cosmik, so that was wonderful.
I'm
Chat.
glad you enjoyed.
Yeah.
Ooh.
Oh, Ed Foxen put it in the chat, but yeah, swap the C and the K. And
Oh yeah. It's Cosmic with a K, but not Cosmic with a K. It's Cosmic, Cosmik.
Yes.
It's like the guy who went to Starbucks. They said, "My name is Mark. How do you spell it?" It's Mark with a C. So he got his cup, and his cup was spelled C-A-R-K.
Order for Kark.
Oh, wonderful. All right, with that, this has been Dooming with me, Draggor. Thank you again, Cosmik, and to everyone out there, have a good rest of your day and weekend.